So yesterday we had a lot of wind here in the greenhouse. I had to end up closing a lot of the windows on the west side of the greenhouse because the wind was blowing towards the containers and everything. But look under here, I am so excited because, oh my gosh, I thought for sure that they were going to get dried out because I kept coming back throughout the day to check on them. But my goodness, we only just planted these a few days ago, not even a few days ago, just a couple of days ago. And I just shared the video the other day. And, you know, even this one has some coming up. So I'm so excited. This is the giant purple. And look at that. Like, welcome to the world, little guys. This one doesn't have any yet. But this Zinnia Amethyst Treasure has some popping up right there. And there's a little guy popping up here. You see it? Right there, coming through the soil. And I don't see anything in this one, but isn't that cool? Like, we just planted these a couple days ago. And already we're starting to see some growth. And these are annuals that I plan on putting out there to make just fun bouquets and kind of throw them together. So I'm excited to see that it's actually coming up. Last year, I went ahead and sprinkled zinnia seeds up by our mailbox, and I was lucky enough to have three grow. But I had, I think, 2 packs that I sprinkled out there. And unbeknownst to me, I put them in with the mulch and stuff, and it just wasn't the right soil. So live and learn. So I decided this year that I was going to plant them in these cells. So that's what we're going to do. And then hopefully when they are big enough, we can transplant them outside. Oh, here's a little guy ready to poke through. So that's what we're gonna do. So just wanted to give you a little update, and then I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do outside in the circle garden. Hi guys, so today I am doing some gardening around the circle garden. I am cutting down some of the tulip stalks so that the energy can go directly into the bulb. The energy soaks into the leaves and goes directly into the bulb. I'm also cutting down some of the stalks of the daffodil to help those along as well. And I'm also pulling out some dandelions, some volunteer dandelions that just decided to show up, I guess, with the tulips. So I'm going in and digging in, and I'll show you a before picture, a during picture, and an after picture. So thanks for checking in today, and I will talk to you shortly. So there are the piles of dandelions and stalks from the tulips. So there you have it. Cleaned up a lot of the tulips, a lot of the daffodils. There's still some that I could pull just to make it look a little prettier. But there's some stray dandelion flowers in there. But also, if you take notice, there's salvia. And I love this salvia because it doesn't spread like it's out of control. It's enough that you can manage it if you see it. But I really love that because I never know what colors I'm going to get. There's this really pretty blue It's a purple salvia, and it's another one which I had separated earlier in spring. Here's the same one, but right next to it there is a lavender. It looks almost white on the camera, but it's a really pretty pale purple, a lavender salvia. And this one looks like it's going to be possibly pink. So oh yes, there you go. It's going to be a pretty pink. So what's cool about these is when you dig these up, you can easily separate them. They look like they're not very happy. They don't transplant very well and just automatically pop up. It's going to take them a good few days to perk up. Just make sure you give them some water and watch them for signs of distress. Just monitor them. Sometimes, like this one, they'll get like a yellowish leaf, but you can easily just pull those off, and that'll help send some strength down into the roots. So this is one that I had transplanted earlier, and you can see that the leaves are probably looking kind of stressed as well because it wants to push up flowers. So if you would go ahead and transplant that and it does have some flowers on, you might want to trim it down, and that won't hurt the plant. You could easily cut it back to about here, maybe take a third or even 2/3 off the plant. As long as there's some roots and some leaves sticking out, that it can do its whole photosynthesis thing, it'll be very happy. So just go ahead and pull in some of these bottom leaves off. There too many at once, that's why it wouldn't pull. And there you go. So this one's going to be a real pretty dark purple. So I have salvia scattered throughout. And in here I have labeled this year, so I don't need to bend over and try to find the white tags, which are all the way inside. As you can see, it's kind of hard to look for them. So I found these cool copper looking tags on Amazon earlier this spring, and while it was still too cold to go out and do gardening, I walked around and I did inventory on what roses we had here. Some of them, the tags did fall off, so I'm waiting for them to bloom so I can go around and identify them. But in this circle garden, I try to have things that are pretty much in a pattern. I like that feel of it in here. Sometimes I like to do a random look, but this is also a basketball. And again, I don't know if I'm saying it right. A lot of times it sounds like I'm saying basketball, but I believe it's pronounced basketball. And it's a really pretty peachy pink kind of English rose. So if I can find a picture from the one website, I will pop it up or put a link below. This one is one of my favorites. This is the Princess Alexandra of Kent. Really gorgeous. It's like a purpley pink, and it just goes for it. You can see this stem is just reaching for the sky, and it has some buds on it. So those are some of the roses that are in here. There's another one over here. I don't think I have this one labeled. No, this one doesn't have a label. I believe it's either the basketball or perhaps an Atlas rose. So I'm going to wait for it to get some blooms so I can take a look at that. But I have the Walker's Low Catmint, which I absolutely love, because my thought process is once these tulips and the daffodils begin to wither away and, you know, kind of do their thing, so that it's sending energy into the bulb. Hopefully these catmint, the Nepeta, will take its place and kind of mask them as they're doing their thing. So that's my goal. And also want to try to have some interest in here for spring, for late, early, mid, late spring and summer. Here are the bloomerang lilacs, and they're just going for it. They're so pretty. These three I planted a few years ago. 1, 2, and 3. This last one I believe I repositioned because I had them closer together. And last winter, I guess it was like almost into winter time, because we had some good weather, I went ahead and did some remodeling in here, and I put the benches in and I retooled everything and kind of repositioned things, and I ended up picking up more of the bloomerang lilacs. So here they are when they're smaller, still so pretty, and they smell so great. And last year we had them bloom like 2 or 3 times even. The initial spring bloom is really showy, and then they sporadically bloom throughout the year, and it's just so cool and has that nice lilac scent, even though it's in the summertime, early fall. And here's another one. And one more. So, and in these pots I picked up some annuals over at Seltzer's, and these are really cool. This is the sundial mix of portulaca, and it looks like it's a sedum, and it's new to me. I never had these, but the blooms get to be like beautiful, like they're a rose even. And this one's like a pale yellow with like a bright pop of pink, orange. And so every one of these pots behind the bench has pretty much the same flowers. So it has the same amount of care, same amount of watering, more or less. So I have some petunias in here, and then this is some of this moss phlox, which I absolutely love. This one's a little smaller because I had to split up those 2. I had only purchased 3 and I needed 4. I didn't really know where they were going until I was putting together kind of like a picture setting for prom for my daughter and her friends. So I just decided, yeah, let's add some color in there, and I added some annuals. Okay, and so each bench has 3 of the phlox next to it. There are the 3. Behind it is the Veronica. I believe that's the white Veronica. So my thought is that once these are finished blooming, hopefully the Veronica, which is a perennial, will start showing off its white leaves, white flowers, and it'll add a little bit different interest throughout the year. There you can see some stray phlox that I picked up, they're still in the pot. I have 2 more in the greenhouse, so I'm deciding where they should go. I don't know if I want to add it to this cute little bench bistro, or this cute little bistro area. I was deciding if maybe I wanted to put it around the outside of it. I'm not quite sure yet. So that's what's fun about gardening. You can move things around for the most part and just kind of be creative and see what comes up in the end. These peonies I got from my neighbor next door, and what's neat about those is you can share with friends, because after a while you can divide them up. Same with the catmint. Those are really easy to divide up and they'll just take off. And they don't like a lot of water. They're pretty much drought tolerant. There's the other peony. So that's another thing I like to do. So initially, when I first started gardening, I found a lot of things that were drought tolerant, which means I didn't need to worry about watering it, because when you're busy, who wants to stand outside and water all the time? And I also found things that were deer resistant, because we do have a lot of deer pressure around here. In the field, we have a good amount every night, just kind of hanging out and chilling. So I'm sure they see this as a big meal, big salad. So I try to put things out that are kind of hopefully going to deter them. They don't like things with a real strong scent, so that's another positive for the catmint. And other places I have lavender, so it's not going to totally stop them, but knock on wood, I've had some luck with it. So that's what we're going with. So I can see I have to tackle the tulips back here yet and cut these down. But this is what it looks like after they're finished blooming. So I will trim those. And I will find some other spots around the yard that need to be tending to, but for now my main concentration was the circle garden to get this finished. So thanks guys for watching. I will update you if I decide to add anything more to the circle garden. I was deciding on if I wanted to plant my marigolds out yet. These I had planted from seed, started them from seed, and I think they would be very pretty because they are like a pale yellow to just pop in possibly behind the moss phlox. So we will see what we can find. I'm deciding possibly I may put them around the circle too. But like I said, I will update you with the progress. And if you hung in there for this whole time, wait, that's awesome. Thanks so much. I know I ramble sometimes, but isn't gardening fun? It's a lot of fun. So it's something that you can see your hard work, you know, come to life. And that's something there's just something so rewarding and relaxing with that. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.